AfterBuzzers. We're here during another AfterBuzz TV after show for MTV's Eye Candy, Season 1, Episode 2, BRB. I'm your host, Kristen Elizabeth Snyder. And joining me, AfterBuzz TV host, Courtney Tezano.
Hello, guys.
Woo! And we have Brittany Baldy from MTV's The Challenge.
Hey, everyone.
And we have the star of Eye Candy, Victoria Justice.
Yeah!
Hi, AfterBuzzers.
And the showrunner who's bringing us this amazing, sexy, thrilling show, Christian Taylor. Thanks for being with us.
Hello, Christian.
Now, I want to talk about the development of this because it's based on the R.L. Stein Eye Candy book, and I don't think a lot of people know that. So was this your idea, Christian, and what was the process sort of developing it into a series?
Well, basically, I was signed on to do the series first. MTV had approached me, and I was actually looking for my next project to do because my Nickelodeon show had wrapped up, and I was 21 when I was reading these other scripts, and I got the Eye Candy script, and I was obviously excited because I'm a huge R.L. Stein fan. Like in the 90s, I grew up like watching Goosebumps all the time. I love him, and so that was really cool, and that drew me in. And then as I was reading the script, I just loved like how it was like fast paced, and like I loved how strong my character was, and there was lots of depth, and like it was action packed and sexy and all these great things. So I had a meeting with MTV, and I signed on, and I was like, I would love to play Lindy. And then we were lucky enough to have Christian Taylor join us, who's an absolute genius and is making this show amazing and is the brains behind this whole thing. So.
Yeah, no, it was really lovely because I worked on Teen Wolf, which was a huge MTV show, and then MTV turned to me and said, you know, would you like to do this? We have Victoria doing it, and they had an early draft by Emmy Grimwis, and I had to sort of rebuild build the show from that, and we went straight to series, so it was 10 episodes. Right away, doing a pilot at the top of that, and it was really exciting. It was really good.
Does the series differ from the book a lot, or if we read the book, would we be able to know who the killer is in the end?
It's very loosely based on the book.
Yeah.
So if you read the book, which is an awesome book, you would not know who the killer is.
It's completely different. I mean, it's not based on the result is not the book, and then I put a whole load of new characters into the show and
That's
sort of
what
open.
Are there different character names? Is that why we can't tell?
Yeah, it's all the characters are basically different. I mean, there's Ben is in the book, but he was actually killed before the book started. Or he died before the show started, so Lindy is sort of mourning that. The sister doesn't exist in the book. That whole setup.
That's interesting.
And when I got the project, I said, look, we really need to sort of give Lindy some sort of drive and some sort of story that has made her become this hacker. And so the sister was it was funny, I was sitting at a drive-through, and I was like, what would be a really cool opening? And I was like, oh my God, I'm trapped in this drive-through. How could I get out of here?
Wow.
And then 6 months later, Victoria's clambering over cars in the rain and, doing the most incredible job as an action superstar.
That was fun.
I'm so glad that you guys differed so much from the book, though, because I don't want anyone who has read the book to sort of spoil it for us. And a lot of times that happens with Game of Thrones and shows like that. It's like when it's so based on the book, it's like there's no surprises. And the best thing about this show is that it's so suspenseful and it's like a thriller every week.
Yeah.
And what I really like is we don't know if the killer is one of these guys she's going on a date with or one of her friends that are really close to her.
Exactly.
And my predictions last week were so all over the place.
Yes, I love it.
Because the Flirtual app, you'd think that would be it, and then towards the end you're like, no, it can't be anyone from the Flirtual app. It has to be someone like close to her. Like, so I love that you have like no expectations for this. You're just waiting to see what you give us. I like that.
I'm almost thinking that you guys are throwing a curveball, and it could be one of her jealous friends, and she's just killing off all the guys that she's going on dates with. But they're just using like a guy's voice as the killer, but it could be a chick. We don't know yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
could be either or.
Either.
So the killer obviously had mommy issues at some point in his life or her life, but he wants perfection and he kills anyone who's lying about their flaws. But the issue here is virtual flaws really don't exist. And so he doesn't realize that these people have flaws until he meets them in person, and then you get the bad angle. And this is kind of making me feel like, are my bad pictures what I really look like? Like, I love this show. Like, it's really tapping into our fear of online dating for our culture and our generation. And if you've tried it, it's definitely scary, and there's always like, you don't know, and someone's probably telling you, oh, one of your friends are like, don't meet them in dark alleys. We all have the Sophia friend. So it's like the entire show is so relatable. But we should probably get down to the episode 2 and start talking about what happens this episode.
BRB, I love that title.
It's funny because I wanted to do all the titles to be little,
acronyms?
that we would text each other and stuff like that, and so that's
now last week was K3U.
Yes.
Is that computer
Someone had to tell me what K3U was.
Do you know what it is?
No.
It's I love
you.
Yeah.
I heard
Yeah.
you.
Our fans told us that one.
It's
So
it's a thinking show. You have to think some of these things.
I don't get it. So, but I was watching one of the bonus episodes and where they talked about what Bay was before anyone else. I didn't know that.
I didn't know either until I did that MTV behind the scenes thing. Like, I always thought Bay was like shortened for babe. Like babe, like, hey babe.
I agree.
Like, I don't know. Before anyone else, who knew?
So Sophia owns the club, right?
Yeah.
Just not just the bartender, and it's the IRL club in real life. Did you do that one too?
Yes.
I love all these.
so
And
modern. I love that.
I know.
that's why the show's so great, because it's really commenting on our society and what we're all going through, like right now. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
the interesting thing is, like, I grew up in New York because I went to college, and we had a huge club culture then. And, I'm a gay man, and I was coming to my sexuality then. So going to these incredible clubs, and it doesn't exist anymore because everyone's socializing on dating. And I think the straight club scene is kind of sort of gone too. So I sort of wanted to say, the comment is, in real life, this is really what happens in real life when you're in a club, and then, then we have these perceptions of who we are, or create these sort of characters of who we are online. So.
I actually didn't know that backstory, and that's really cool. I like that.
We actually have a caller on the line.
Wow.
Caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
They're coming.
They're coming.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello.
Caller?
It's
Are
the
you there?
stalker.
It could be the mystery killer.
Mystery guy.
Hello?
Oh, wait.
Hello? What's your name? Where are you from?
Hello?
Hi.
Bill from
Bill?
Victoria?
Hi, yeah, this is Victoria.
Do you have a question for
you
Victoria, a Christian?
Yeah, I just want to say I love Victoria. The show's
Thank
awesome.
you.
I don't have a question. I think it's Connor. I think Connor's the killer.
Oh,
Am I
really?
right? Am I close?
Who did he say?
Interesting.
Connor. He said Connor. Connor's definitely one of the top choices.
A lot of people are thinking that it's Connor
Yeah.
on Twitter and everything too.
Well, we can't tell you. So
Definitely.
it's
I
basically.
think it's Connor.
I mean, I think that's a good suspect because he was taking those pictures in episode 2, tonight's episode. So it was we didn't really know why he was doing that.
And he
You'll find
doesn't
out.
like Lindy.
Right.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Easy suspect. Someone who hates you.
You know what? We don't
Crazy.
any easy suspect is it's too easy.
I know. I know. That's why I don't. Connor's not my pick. But they.
I don't know.
Where are you calling from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. What was your
Awesome.
favorite part of the episode?
The whole episode.
Good answer.
The car with the bridge.
Oh, you
When
liked it?
The killer took over the car. I love that scene.
Oh, awesome! I'm really
Thank
glad.
you.
You know what? I feel like you're introducing
No
a
problem,
fear
thank you.
for our society in the future with cars
Mm-hmm.
being manipulated, right?
Yeah. That's a huge thing about these cars that are going to self-drive, is they can do it now. The problem is they haven't figured out how to stop it from being hacked. You know, so
yeah, they've got the Google car and everything.
Yeah,
Lindy
exactly.
knows.
Lindy knows. Lindy saved the day. That was one of the most complex sequences that we did all season, I think.
Definitely.
And there's Victoria in the car. There was a stunt man with a mannequin mask on and like driving, and they're driving backwards, and then you know.
Oh, that's how you did it. There was a stunt man in the mannequin mask.
There's a stunt man, and then there was a mannequin, and we were on a trailer that we pulled forward and then pushed backward. You know, turned the trailer around. So we did it all different ways, but it was a huge sequence.
I want to thank our caller for calling in quickly.
Thank you.
Yes,
and
thanks.
you guys who are watching the live stream, you can call us. We're in Studio C. The number is 424-253-0504. And we'll be taking your calls, and we have some tweets to read later for some people asked you guys some questions.
Right.
So let's talk about this episode. Now, you're Lindy Sampson, and she's like this tech genius, and I know you're coming from Nickelodeon, where you were last on TV. So what did you sort of do to prepare for your show, then the new role?
You know, I before we actually started filming, I took a class in coding and computer coding, just so I could get an idea of like what my character is so brilliant at, and just kind of get into that mindset, and you know, just like creating a backstory for my character, and where she's come from and why she is the person that she is today, and just really like cultivating like that mindset, and you know, my character Lindy has had a very tragic past in a lot of ways. You know, she's lost her mother, and in the first episode, she sees her sister getting abducted before her very eyes, which is like, you know, losing two of the strongest like female figures in your life is something that really obviously would affect someone. So she has like a lot of walls up, but at the same time, you know, she's a very strong, passionate, determined young woman. So
I love that she's such a badass.
Yeah,
she is. She's fun.
I read before that you said that you liked that this was a challenge for you because, you know, not that Nickelodeon wasn't, but you were really put in like a teen role, and now you're kind of becoming of age, have a birthday coming up.
Right.
So how did it feel like, what type of challenge would you say eye candy is for you?
What type of challenge is eye candy for me? You know, I mean, I feel like it was challenging because
You were
the
in
schedule
every
was really
single
intense.
scene. I was like,
Yeah, and I mean, it's
That's huge.
Yeah, and we were filming 2 episodes back to back at a time. Was it 2 episodes in 9 days? No, how many days was it?
we had 6.5 days per episode, so it was what is that? 13 days.
13 days.
I can't even remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah. So yeah.
But it was kind of challenging sometimes to like, you know exactly to go from being in from episode 1 and then like switching to a different storyline and a different like emotional place to the next scene.
Because what we do is we do this thing called crossboarding, so you can kind of get all the locations, so you can 2 episodes are being shot at the same time, but you know, Victoria would have to walk. We're doing everything in the cyber unit for those 2 episodes, so she would have to shoot. You know, the more, you know, they would switch from scene to scene, so she has to. All our actors do, but. You know, this is the funniest thing for me was like, I have dinner with Victoria the night, about a couple of months before we're going to shoot. And I'm like, Victoria, this is going to be really hard. I'm really warning you. And I'm like, you know, you need to do the work. You need to you're going to have to be, you're never going to have done anything like this before. And, you know, because I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to do it. And I was like, I have never in my life worked with such a professional actress. Somebody who's so hardworking, and you know, I've said this before, but it's like not one complaint the entire episode, and what we put her through, and you know, the boys complained more about their hair than, you know. No, but it was like she really, I mean, she's in almost every scene, and it's like that's really hard work, and you have to keep.
And it's also a lot of emotional intensity too. A lot of emotionally like just charged scenes and my character going through horrifying things, and so that was challenging as an actor.
What do you do to get into that mindset? Not to cut you off, but what do you do to get into that mindset? Like, my sister just got abducted. How do you zone in on that?
You know, I don't know. Sometimes it's just like just really getting rid of like all the distractions, and sometimes I'll like put on a certain type of music that'll just get me into a certain space and trigger like a certain emotion for me. But honestly, like it was kind of easy to, well, I shouldn't say easy to film that, but I have a younger sister, and so when we were filming that on the day, I, you know, imagining her being abducted right in front of me was like, I just had to visualize that, and then it was kind of there for me, those sorts of things. So just being able to, I guess,
have something that you channel it from.
Yeah.
We actually have another caller on the line.
Of course we do.
Wow.
Caller, what's your name?
Cool.
Where are you from?
Hello.
Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hi.
This is Gracie. I'm from Alabama.
Gracie! Is this the Gracie that I know and love
Yeah, it's me.
Hi! Yay! I love Gracie. She's amazing.
How do you guys know each other? We have to ask now.
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. I know Gracie through Twitter. She's she's been an amazing, supportive, kind person, and I've met her like at different like meet and greets, and I've just like I've taken the time to like meet her and hang out with her, and she's greght. She's a sweetheart.
Oh, that's so sweet. Gracie, did you have a question for Victoria or Christian that you wanted to ask?
Like, cause the show's like so suspenseful. Or like any of the scenes, did you get like so into them that it was kind of like creepy to film?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, there were definitely some scenes that were really creepy to film. I'm trying to without giving anything away.
Towards the end.
Towards the end, it gets
too much.
really, really creepy, and I had to do some things that situations that I never would have thought I would have been put in as an actor, but it was really interesting and exciting. And
I mean, those locations. We in the last 2 episodes we do some big locations. So I think I mean.
We had some really creepy locations at the end. What was it, like an old army like?
Fort. You know, we can't say where it is in the story, but it's like there's some great. The great thing about shooting in New York is there's all these great locations.
So many amazing locations.
And so we would be, there's an episode coming up where it's a haunted ship. That was pretty creepy.
Oh, that was really
creepy. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. We were really lucky, and I actually talked to the locations people and said, give me the locations and I'll write to those. So we did a little bit of that too.
It was really the haunted ship, or that episode where we were on that creepy ship. It was like late at night, and we had just finished filming like a scene there. And it was so random. I was walking back to my trailer, and it was dark, and we'd filmed these creepy scenes. And all of a sudden, like, I see something like moving in the shadows, and I was like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And I was like freaking out. And I heard like, and there was a goat.
Yeah.
There was like this like abandoned like shipyard, and there were these people that owned this place that owned goats. It wasn't a prank. And so I went up to the gate, and like the goat started like licking me. I was like, what is my life right now?
Wow.
What is happening?
Only you, Victoria. Only you.
Do you remember the goats?
I remember.
That's very creepy.
That's so weird.
It was really weird.
Gracie, that was a great question. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, Gracie. I'll see you
all
on
love you,
Twitter.
Gracie.
We love you.
Guys, we stream live on AfterBuzzTV.com, and you can also download our show on iTunes. Please rate and comment. We love to hear from you guys, and you can also catch us on YouTube if you missed the live streaming show.
And give us 5 stars, please.
And give us those 5 stars. We'll get more of your favorite characters in here to talk to you. But so let's talk about this episode, and the killer starts off by pouring, what was that, paint stripper on the girl's face?
Yeah.
I mean, I am never going to keep my eyes closed during my spa treatment ever again.
Never.
Thanks a lot.
It's so funny because when I was talking about this with the writers, one of the things was like, what's scary in the mundane in our lives, like the drive-through, like going to I've had like a couple of facials in my life. I haven't done that much, but I was like, you'd have your eyes closed, something weird could happen.
Right. Yeah.
So it's always like things like that within our show.
Where you're so vulnerable and
Oh my God. See, actually, this makes me more scared to get a facial, to go through a drive-through. Like, you're bringing out some fear in people, I think, but you're doing a good job.
We're trying.
Well, now someone had an interesting comment online. They were saying that perhaps the killer doesn't like when someone's trying to change their natural beauty, like the girl was trying to get a facial treatment in tonight's episode, so maybe he doesn't like that. But we've heard through the episodes that he just doesn't like when he finds them in person and he sees that they have a flaw. But then the other thing with that is, like, some of us don't notice flaws that we see ourselves. So it's
we have filters, we have different angles, so it's really different in person.
I feel like I probably know a lot of flaws about myself that I hate that you guys may never even notice my entire life. So it's like, what is this guy exactly looking for? Like, I know it was a crooked tooth, and now it's the acne, and is he just picking on like these superficial things?
You're gonna find a lot of this out in the next episode, and Victoria figures it, or Lindy figures it all out in episode 3, and it's our serial killer is clearly a psychopath, and it's the perception of what is beauty, what is identity, how we present ourselves, what makes us beautiful, what doesn't make us. I think as a culture we are incredibly obsessed with physical beauty.
Absolutely.
And this is something that is not necessarily a good thing for young people to grow up in, and so I hope that we're commenting on it. And Victoria was there was a couple of lines in the next episode where I don't know if I could give anything away, but there's a thing about perfection and Victoria was like, to me, took me aside and said, look, I want to sort of bring this to another level, and so we wrote to that, which was I think really important, and so it's all a comment, and
do we know if the killer, because we were saying before, we were debating whether the killer's attractive or completely left field and not attractive. I said that he can't be attractive and that he's looking for things that he lacks, or he or she lacks. We don't know.
But Brittany
said he was really good looking, like a Christian Grey. He's so perfect that he needs somebody to match his perfect skin.
So which one is right?
We can't tell you. Don't try and trick us.
I want to know how the killer feels about plastic surgery. Like, he doesn't know if these people are fixing themselves, and a lot of the issues, like me personally, I have some of these flaws, but I want to naturally accept myself, so I work on that, like a lot of people probably do, and not being so self-obsessed, because it's dangerous. Like,
and also, what's a flaw? The psychopath is actually what gives us character as an individual.
Exactly.
So we have to embrace that. I think
that's a really good line.
It's very
I love
true,
that.
I had another good line today.
No, can you share?
I'm not going to say this line. I'll say it next time I come on.
Save it for us. Save it.
It's a twist.
Oh, that's good that you're saving it. No, but I'm excited to hear that the next episode is about self-obsession, because definitely our entire society is going through that, and I have a lot of girlfriends my own age who are telling me that they are getting plastic surgery and getting injections and stuff, and it makes me feel like, okay, do I have to start doing this just so I can stay at everybody else's level? So I'm glad that you guys are attacking that and going to discuss it, because it's a problem that we all need to reflect on, like now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's happy when they feel like they have to keep altering things, and I think that's one of the huge things in our generation. We need to find other ways to be happy, and it doesn't always start with physical beauty.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
From
it
the
doesn't.
inside.
I mean, I'll tell you I don't know if I can say this on, but the people, the most attractive people that I've had relationships with, let's say, have been the most insecure. And so you just have to sort of people know they never find happiness in money or in physical beauty. They find it in self-identification and success in what they love to do, and family, and and like a relationship that so that's the interesting thing. And I hope we talk about a lot of these themes, and a lot of this the show probably should talk about it in the sense of and I actually sort of learned this working on Teen Wolf, because Jeff sort of did, is that the show is sort of its own, the 10 episodes are its own movie in a way. So the first 3 episodes are going to be kind of very serial killer centric, so that's what's going on, and then we begin to sort of shift in, and MTV wanted to do this into sort of standalone cases that Lindy will sort of come into. So episodes sort of 4, 5, 6.
That's really exciting.
4, 5, 6, and 7 are all their own sort of stories, and then we kick back into the serial killer. But the serial killer exists throughout all those episodes.
But it's not the main.
He's not the main focus. So it's sort of coming in and out, and he helps her, and there's certain things that happen.
And that's how you build a great show. Suspense, story, more suspense. I like that.
So and it'll be interesting to see how people go with those, and we've done some sort of really interesting stories, I think. So I hope it'll be good.
No, I'm very excited, and MTV, like like shows like Teen Wolf, which you came from, and now Eye Candy, which I'm so glad that you're the showrunner of, it's really addressing these more important themes. It's not just like your high school show where people are singing or whatever. It's really addressing these themes that we're all dealing with and are so important to our generation.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about episode 4, which is about a group of kids who go on a party bus and they all go missing, and you don't understand why they were missing. And what Lindy has to do is recreate their night through all of their social media postings. And there's one.
I love that.
and there's you know, all their selfies and their videos and their Twitters and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
And there's a line where, you know, the head of the cyber unit, Catherine, says nobody has, you know, people don't have any idea of how much they reveal to the world online, which is also a huge thing.
Huge.
And Lindy has a line back that says, I do. You know, and it's kind of like, it's sort of like, you know, and so there's that, and then some other cool things, which probably shouldn't give away. But.
Well, I like that you mentioned Sergeant Catherine, and I'm glad that we get that introduction of like a new person from the cyber unit. And she kind of sees herself in Lindy, and she likes that you're a bit reckless and kind of implementing your own justice on the streets, which I love too. You know, and you're not just this reckless girl who's hooking up with these guys. You spit out the E in the second episode, which she doesn't even notice, and you're not sleeping with any of these guys. I don't even think you're kissing them yet.
No, I think my character is still mourning the loss of Ben. You know, that's devastating.
But what's it like romancing possible murderers? That's
I know, that must be creepy.
It's you know, I must say I feel like we do have some pretty good male eye candy on the show, so it makes it easy. No, but yeah, I don't know. It is creepy a little bit. But you know, who knows who the actual killer is. So
well, in this episode, everyone's sort of pointing the finger at Reese,
right?
And to tell you the truth, like. At first I thought, okay, it could be Tommy. He could be just locked himself in the trunk, you know, and
absolutely.
And doing that. And the one point where he says she's beautiful, there's definitely a romance cooking there. And then, but it could be Reese. I mean, he could have very easily switched the camera on himself too. What did you guys think?
I didn't think it was Reese the entire time for some reason. I'm still convinced there's something else. I think it may be Tommy, just because, you know, it's so easy for us to get off of the person that could possibly be falling in love with her, but he could have liked her from the beginning because
Great point.
that was one of his best friends. He could have been that best friend that was looking like, I really want her. So I think it's Tommy. It's just me.
Really?
I agree with that. What do you think, Brittany? Like, who's your suspect right now and why?
I don't know. I think it's very hard to determine that right now, but like you said, it could be Tommy. I still really don't know. I'm still thinking it could be somebody like Sophia, who's jealous of all these guys that she's going on dates with.
Yes.
It could be a girl, for all I know.
Absolutely.
I agree with that too. Yeah, because girls are cray. I had a girl in like 8th grade write me notes from a guy who she didn't even know. Like she had showed me a picture of him and would like every day bring me a note from him.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and I didn't know until she like went missing that this guy didn't exist.
What?
Yeah, it was insane. So that's why I'm pointing the finger at Sophia too. I'm on that boat. I'm on the Tommy boat because I can see how he probably always liked her. Like that's definitely a situation you see today where like there's two best friends that are both in love with a girl, and he was trying to get her off the case. Like this entire episode too, he was like, "You shouldn't do this. You're messing up what we're trying to do." I mean, do you guys feel like Lindy's messing up what the cops are trying to accomplish?
No, I think he just wants to protect her. And I think that comes from him really liking her, and from someone really liking them, they could possibly kill you in this episode, I think. So Tommy, he has good intentions, but I still think he's a suspect.
Okay.
What about Jake? Now Jake shows up, somehow has your address.
That I thought was creepy, and I loved how he completely dodged that bullet too.
Yes.
When you're like, oh, how did you get my address? And he's like, oh, I just wanted to make you dinner. And he never even answered how he got the address. I mean, just all right.
Yeah, what do you guys think of that? Like, he was really creepy with the knife, and then he made them dinner and was bonding with her friends and everything, but He could be a suspect.
Creepy.
I want to know.
Wait, but
There's a lot of Jake in the next episode.
Oh, okay.
There's some big twists.
I want to know, when you guys started filming episode 1, did the killer know that they were the killer?
We knew.
You knew, but did you tell the killer?
I told the killer sort of halfway through. Yeah, halfway through.
Darn it, I was really hoping you'd say he or she. I was waiting.
He's good. This guy's good.
It.
Christian, what did you do to sort of prepare for taking on this whole new show? I know you did so much work on Teen Wolf, and that was sort of your life the past few years. So what did you do to prepare?
I was really lucky because I had a great experience with Jeff and working on Teen Wolf, and I had a great training because I'd been on shows like 6 Feet Under and Lost and everything. And I think I was sort of ready. And I'm a director as well, so I sort of can look at it from all sides. And we had Russell Mulcahy do the first 2 episodes, who did the pilot of Teen Wolf and has done a lot of great episodes of Teen Wolf. He's a huge part of Teen Wolf. So I had a great I surrounded myself with a lot of people who are really talented. And I knew people who I'd worked with, like Dave Daniel, who's a cinematographer.
Brilliant.
He's just a great atmosphere on the set. And then Todd, who's our second camera operator, so I knew that he would get us great stuff, and costume design. You surround yourself with great people, and you try and be, somebody said it's like being at a circus. You are the ringleader, and you have to sort of, and I have to say I'm very lucky, because this doesn't happen often. I had a fantastic lead actress, and I had amazing actors.
Thank you.
No, but it's really important, because some people can make your life living hell, and you're like, but we're all in this together. Like, what are you doing? And Victoria's, the co-head of the show, because it's her, she's the lead of the show. So that's really a lot of, it takes a lot of stuff off, and MTV was very supportive, and it's a huge undertaking. I've never done anything like this in my life before. It is absolutely massive, and I was terrified at times that I wouldn't have scripts ready, and I was rewriting on weekend, and things like that.
He was working like a madman. I don't know how you did it. You're amazing, because he was constantly you were on set more for the first 2 episodes, but he was constantly working on new drafts and rewriting things, and just nonstop Energizer Bunny. It was amazing.
Well, it's paying off. I love the show, and we have another caller, so everyone loves the show, obviously.
Yeah.
Great.
Caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hello?
Hi, caller. What's your name?
Hi.
Where are you from? I'm not sure if they can hear us.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, hi.
Hi. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name's Deborah from New York.
Hi, Deborah.
Deborah, that was Victoria talking to you. Do you have a question for Victoria or Christian?
Your hotel.
What?
Do you remember me from your hotel? Hotel?
I don't remember. Did I meet you recently when I was leaving?
Yeah, not when you were leaving, but a couple of days before, when it was really cold.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't remember specifically, but it's nice to talk to you again. Do you have a question for us?
Yeah, so where was your favorite place to film this show, actually?
My favorite place to film this show. Well, we shot all over New York City, and our soundstage was located in Brooklyn, and it was amazing because we filmed. It was the most beautiful place to go to work. It was right on the water, and we had the Williamsburg Bridge to our right, and it was I love the filming in the cyber crimes unit, with the glass windows, and you can see
New York,
the whole city, the skyline. It's incredible. So I don't know. We filmed in Brooklyn, we filmed in Queens, we filmed in the Bronx, we filmed in Yonkers, we filmed in Manhattan. Yeah, we filmed in everywhere. So many. That's the amazing thing about filming in New York, is that there were so many beautiful locations, and it's such New York City is a character in the show, and it's the perfect backdrop and atmosphere for Eye Candy, because it has that creepiness to it, but it's also so beautiful and intriguing at the same time, and it was just amazing to shoot there. I love that city so much.
Well, it looks beautiful. And Deborah, thank you for calling in and asking a question. So I want to talk about some of your friends now. So let's talk about George, who is your co-hacker who you wake up in episode 2 so that he can help you break into security cameras.
Yes. He was deep in the REM.
I love that line. He's amazing. And by the way, I think he may be joining us next week.
Yeah.
So don't forget to tune in, guys.
He's hilarious.
I love it. You guys are going to have so much fun.
I mean, could he be the killer? Ooh. I have to ask you guys, what do you think? He's got the skills.
He's got the skills.
I kind of think I can say he's not the killer.
Thank you. I know he's not.
He's less the killer than Victoria could be the killer. You know?
I mean, Victoria could have, like, another personality.
Definitely.
Okay, no.
All right, so we've X-nayed George. Let's talk about Sophia. We've already said we think it may be her. And, I mean, she kind of identified you in the club and was like, live with me. Right. So that's a little crazy. But I love her character, and she's such a great, caring best friend. So it's nice that she sort of adopted you to live with her in New York. And you get free drinks all the time. And New York's really expensive. So I can see how that's so convenient. And the club, now you were talking about this a bit earlier. It's like you walk in, was it like a flower shop?
Yep.
Where'd you get the idea for that? That was brilliant.
It was funny. It was originally it was one of those old sort of photographic, portrait studios that you would go and get your family portrait done, and you would go in and you'd have a picture taken, and then the booth would revolve and you'd be in the club. And then we found this great location that was a flower shop, and I just thought that was really fun. So
I love
we built the club on the soundstage because it was much easier to shoot there. And one of the producers had the idea of these sort of shipping containers, and it's one of my favorite sets. It's really good, and we use it a lot. There's one episode where we're entirely in the club. It's very exciting.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That's a really fun one.
Yeah, and so it was a cool location.
And then the junkyard, where it's that an actual junkyard?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was it like filming there?
Hard. It was kind of hard.
Probably for the lighting, too.
When we arrived, they were like moving the cars around. It was like muddy and oily, and I got a pair of shoes that I ruined. Like the crew members are like, "Why'd you wear those shoes?" And I was like, "I didn't know it'd be this bad." But yeah, no, and it's sort of sexy and dangerous. Like wanted it to be dangerous, and Reese is such a weirdo that I wanted that. And
I was going to ask really quick too. That was actually my favorite part out of the whole episode.
Really good.
Because I was sitting there watching it with my friend, and he's like, "That's such a weird place to go on a first date." And as I continued watching it, I said, you know what? I think it's actually a metaphor for social media and how people are so disposable, because he sits there and he's like, the cars are old and everybody's disposable, and eventually we're all going to be here. And I'm like thinking, Flirtual, Tinder, people just sit there and, that chick's not hot enough, on to the next one. That person's not good enough, on to the next one. It's me using my criminology mind, because I actually have a degree in sociology.
We
got a cop on the panel. Yeah, exactly.
I like it because it's making me think, and not many TV shows nowadays do that. It kind of reminds me of like a sexy version of CSI.
Cool.
And that growing up, I used to love that TV show.
Cool.
So props to you guys.
Yeah.
I had to say it. I just had to say it.
I'm so glad. No, I'm really proud of that.
Awesome.
And I kind of got into a little bit, not a huge fight, but a bit of a fight with the network because they wanted to cut some of the lines in that scene, and I was like, no, these are really important. Like
I totally got it.
Yeah, I worked really hard on this scene with that character talking about it, and so it was important. But they're of course very supportive, and let me do it ultimately. But I'm very happy with that scene.
It was very metaphorical.
And, Victoria's great in that scene, and it's sort of like it's creepy and weird, and what's gonna happen? Well, thank you.
I liked it.
We only have a few moments left in this
What?
show.
It's so fun.
So I'd like to get into like an interview with you guys. And sort of talk about what specifically from your childhood, I know I've asked you before, sort of led you to the careers that you are in today.
Okay, what specifically in my childhood? I got started early on. I think I got the bug because my mom is a huge movie buff, and from a really young age, I was watching like all these old movies. Her phone just goes off. But I was like, my favorite movie when I was like 10 was Funny Girl with Barbara Streisand, and like I was a big Audrey Hepburn fan. And,
I love her.
so I was always just really immersed in like the arts, and I grew up being in dance classes and singing in musical theater, and I don't know, and I was just watching a kid on a commercial one day as well, and I remember like yelling for my mom, and I was like, Mom, do you see that kid? Like I wanna try doing that. And so we like took some headshots, and I lived in Hollywood, Florida. She took some pictures of me when I was 8 in front of like a palm tree and sent it to some agencies, and I ended up booking my first commercial audition, which was for Ovaltine. And
what a great mom.
She's the best mom ever.
She's sitting over there.
She is here.
Yeah. And and so to wrap it up here, but yeah, and so then I persuaded my parents to give me a shot and go to LA to try and make it in TV and film, and I moved out with her when I was 12, and then my first big role was on Zoe 101, and that's kind of how it all started. I feel very, very lucky.
Yeah, I know it's important to have that supportive team behind you. I know a lot of people say they didn't have the support from their parents, and it made all the difference. It took a lot longer to be successful because a lot of parents are like, get the banker's job, get a realistic job, and they don't really promote the dreams, and then that kills it.
Not necessarily the arts,
Yeah. So what about you, Christian?
I have to say one thing is like how you would think somebody who had started that young and who had that much would be a horrible person. You'd think and she is the crew loves her, she's so lovely to everybody. I've never seen her say anything mean or nasty to anyone, so I just want to say that. I, on the other hand, was going a little crazy while we were shooting and probably said some mean things. No, I'm not a mean person, but you sort of, when you're shooting, you're like, oh my god, why is this not being done the way I thought it was going to be done? But how did I knew from a very young age that I wanted to direct, and I went to film school in New York, so that was really nice to go back to New York to shoot the show because I hadn't been there in a long time. And I graduated film school, and I got my thesis film got nominated for an Oscar.
Oh wow!
And then I moved out to New York.
Yeah, like can we take a moment to be like, whoa, that's not common.
I got to take my mom to the Oscar. That was the best.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And then I moved to LA, and I didn't work for 10 years. Basically, no. It was like it was a really interesting experience, and I then sort of had to sort of work my way back up doing different assisting jobs and working on different stuff, and then I ended up getting a break in television, and I've been writing in television for a while now, and I just, Jeff, we talked about this, gave me the opportunity to direct on Teen Wolf, which allowed me to then sort of be more of a sort of understanding of the whole process and everything, and I love to direct, and so I'm doing, I'm now a showrunner doing a show, and it's
amazing.
It's interesting. It's a very, it'll be interesting to see where I go next, but I do love directing a lot. So I'd love to do films and all that stuff, but we've got a show to make, so let's see.
Yeah, and hopefully a lot more seasons because we are just fascinated.
Yes.
So can you guys share a moment on set, a funny time on set?
Oh my god.
You're thinking of one.
I'm trying to think of one.
A funny time on set. I mean,
or scary, just a memorable time.
We generally had a really nice time. Like everybody was like, there was like, I mean, I think there's crazy stuff like Victoria having to be on the top of the roof, which is on the studio, and within the same day she's making love to Ben, with these beautiful lights, and then it's 4 hours later he's dead, and she's like clasking his body. That's the crazy stuff of filmmaking, but it's all on one location, and that stuff is. Unfortunately, it wasn't cold then.
That's what I was gonna ask.
But
you're from Florida and LA, like it's so hot here and there. So
oh my
New
gosh,
York.
it started getting so cold. We were filming some scenes towards the end there outside, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I was like shaking. It was getting really cold. But I don't know. Other fun times. We even though it's like a lot of the show is kind of dark and suspenseful and creepy, we laugh a lot on set and have a lot of fun. And I feel like super lucky to be working with such a great cast because genuinely we all get along so well. And I I'm excited to go to work with everyone every day, and they're all super down to earth and cool and funny and just great people. Honestly, the cast and the crew, we had such a good group of people. So I'm like totally blanking on a specific
any
funny
crazy thing. I can't think of anything crazy. I think with the speed was so quick that we just didn't have time to stop.
You didn't have time to stop.
Pranks and things like that we couldn't do because there was no time. Like
there was no Tyler Posey on set.
No, and you'd like to prank people and do something, but it's like. That means we're not going to get an extra take on that scene. You know, this was shot.
Yeah, we were very crunchy.
We had a day to 2 days less an episode that Teen Wolf gets.
Wow.
You know, so we pulled off some sort of miracles, and our budget is less than Teen Wolf. So it's you know, I don't know how we really did it. So.
Well, let's go ahead and roll into predictions really quick, and then we'll give out our Twitter handles.
Awesome.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
This is the part where you guys tell us everything that's going to happen next episode.
So we don't predict. Yeah.
So what do you guys think's going to happen? What are your predictions going forward?
I can't because I'm going to be long-winded. Go ahead, please.
Predictions, I think Lindy's going to start dating somebody very soon. I hope she does because I loved watching that romance with Ben. And I was a little upset that he died the first episode. I'm not going to lie.
Me too. That was a huge risk, too.
Yeah.
He does come back.
Oh,
wait, what? In Afterlife?
We're not
Zombie Ben.
It's not. We're not doing The Walking Dead. No, we do a flashback episode which reveals a lot of backstory about Lindy and Ben.
Oh, cool. I'm excited for that.
That's
And
exciting.
Tommy, so that'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still hoping that there's a relationship between Tommy and Lindy. I hope they fall in love. I hope that he is the killer and it's like she loves him and it's messed up and crazy. Because like you were saying, like the psychoticness in us that's our flaws, but it's what gives us character and it's kind of beautiful in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for the show. The power of the internet is real, and I'm glad that we got a chance to talk to you guys about it, and I hope you come back.
We would
and
love
visit
to.
us.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for
This
having
was
me.
a blast. Now, where can everyone follow you? Your Twitter handles.
My Twitter handle is @VictoriaJustice on Twitter and also on Instagram as well.
Awesome.
And mine is, and I'm a new Twitter.
Like last week, right?
I'm a Twitter virgin. I am Christian Twit1.
Yes,
Awesome. And
everyone
also
follow
on
him.
Instagram, right? Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, yeah, the same thing.
Awesome.
Yes.
And Brittany, where can we follow you? I know we can see you on MTV's The Challenge tonight, actually, at
Yay!
10.
Go Brit.
Yeah, you guys can check me out tonight on MTV. It's actually at 11 p.m. which is
Oh,
cool.
11.
okay.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
changed it.
Redwood Skeletons is on at 10.
Gotcha.
But you guys can follow me at Brittany Baldy on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Don't stalk me, don't kill me.
I love when you do that. I love it. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TezKnows. Again, every week we want to hear what you have to say. Enter the hashtag ABTVICandy. Your predictions were awesome, and we want to hear more for next week.
And guys, I am Cinematic Escape on Twitter and Instagram at cinematic_escape. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. And we have a special guest, and it's going to be Monday at 11 p.m., right?
Yes,
I
at
believe
11
so.
p.m.,
We'll
yes.
be streaming live Monday at 11 p.m.
Cool.
Yes.
Awesome.
So you'll do it afterwards with Harvey.
Afterwards with
Harvey.
Harvey.
Great. And then I
Love it.
think we'll get the rest of the cast to come on and see you guys.
That
You
would
hear
be
that? You guys need to tune
amazing.
in.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you
Bye.
next
Have a
week.
good one.
From executive producers